Falcons!
Hey, Falcons.
Hey, Falcons!
School is starting soon.
It may look a little different,
But we will be ready for you.
So make sure you are ready too.
It's going to be a great year.
We will grow together academically,
athletically,
and artistically.
Can we really do all that online?
You bet we can.
So, come rested
and prepared
And on time.
Because school is starting soon.
It's great to be a Falcon.
Pride,
tradition,
and honor.
See you soon, Falcons.
Hey, Falcons!
Are you excited for the 2021 school year?
I know I am.
Here are some tips to make your year successful. Make sure you plan your days weekly.
Create a weekly schedule by listing your important due dates and schoolwork.
Create a workspace you can thrive in.
Separating school and home will keep you on top of your game.
Try to limit your distractions.
Staying focused is important to create a school-like environment.
Try to stay active.
Stay well rested.
Remember to make times for your interests and hobbies like making music.
Make sure you have a strong Wi-Fi connection for your virtual interaction.
If you need Wi-Fi assistance, contact the school.
Relax and take a break when needed.
be afraid to ask your teachers for help.
If you need anything throughout the year, don't hesitate to call your counselor.
and make sure you stay connected with our social media.
And be confident, because even from a distance, we are Falcon awesome.
Good evening. My name is Bill Gallimore, assistant principal, one of the assistant principals here at CV High. Welcome to our back to school night presentation. Right now, if you need an interpreter for a language other than English, please, you'll see shortly an interpretation button below. We'll start with our Armenian translator. Please go ahead and unmute.
Բարի երեկո ձեզ, իմ անունս Վարդուհի է եւ ես հայրենի թարգմանիչն եմ։ Եթե հայրենի թարգմանություն ունեք, խնդրում եմ սեղմեք ռուսերենի վրա, որպեսզի կարողանաք այս տեղեկությունները լսել հայերենով։ Շնորհակալություն։
Thank you. And now for our Korean translator, please go ahead and unmute.
안녕하세요. 한국어 통역사입니다. 여러분들이 한국어로 듣기 위해서는 맨 밑에 있는 인터프리테이션 아이콘을 클릭하신 후에 한국어를 선택하시면 한국어로 설명을 들으실 수 있습니다. 감사합니다.
And now for our Spanish interpreter, please go ahead and unmute.
Bienvenidos a la noche de regreso a la escuela Crescenta Valley del 2020. Si necesita servicio de interpretación en español, por favor haga clic en el icono de interpretación y seleccione español.
Very good. You should now see the interpretation button below. And now, if you will please rise for our singing of the national anthem with student Siona Basme.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
So thank you to Siona for the beautiful rendition of our country's national anthem. Thank you to each of you for joining us here tonight. My name is Linda Young, and I'm the very proud principal of the Crescenta Valley High School Falcons. And we certainly hope that each one of our 2,633 students and households are off to a great start. We've had 100 teachers and 50 support staff preparing nearly 200 different classes offered in over 600 unique sections throughout our day, and are feeling that overall things have really gone quite smoothly, although this is very different. We are still committed to helping each student grow academically, artistically, and athletically. And we also hope that students and our community as a whole, our staff and the Falcon family are able to recharge. And so we offer classes in yoga, mindfulness in various sections, and teachers clubs, the arts. And we commit to keeping the Falcon family socially connected and look forward to the challenge of getting creative. And tonight you'll get to meet some key individuals in all of this work: administrators, counselors, tech leaders, our president of our associated student body. And so we hope to offer you some information that is helpful, and also plan to keep it a tight program, knowing that there are other things scheduled tonight as well, and we apologize for conflicts. We try and avoid those as often as we can. But again, the academics, the fun, the connection, and service, whether it is drive-through donations to food pantries, whether it is our computer science students working with universities and research institutions to connect multiple computers and expand their ability to do research, or donating personal protective equipment to essential workers and frontline workers. When we see a need in our community, we seek to be of service. And so our clubs will be active. They will continue, as will our classes. Our 23 athletic teams are certainly a big part of the Falcon experience, one that we all enjoy gathering and having those moments together to cheer and to celebrate and to watch our impressive athletes. Our athletic directors, our coaches are ready to form families, team families, and have us positioned and ready should we be able to compete in the coming months. So pride, tradition, honor. It's great to be a Falcon, even at a distance. And so far, it seems like the Zoom is working okay. I know at least one family in the community has a donut bet on Zoom working or not tonight, but I'm glad to say, from my perspective, it looks good, so I don't want to jinx anything. But thanks to those who helped us open up tonight, certainly Siona with the anthem, also Sadie and Sarah, our cheer captains, as well as head coach Christina Bircher, a CV alum, who helped us put together some of the videos. Our assistant principal, Mr. Bill Gallimore, who is helping run this session, helped us produce some of the videos that we just shared as this meeting was starting. And our superintendent, Dr. Ekchian, wanted to join us tonight, had a conflict, but wants to send her greetings and her message of wishes for a great year for us. So one thing that we want everyone to be aware of is that tonight is really a kickoff. We're approaching back to school night in a slightly different way this year, where it's not all happening on one night. That's certainly a lot of Zooming and technology challenges and issues. We wanted to make sure things went more smoothly, and that also we're modeling best practices in terms of distributed learning and time for learnings and questions to percolate. And so we are going to be available over a series of days, and teacher videos are going to be posted in conjunction with the kickoff here tonight. Some are already up, and we commit that all of them will be posted on the teacher web pages by Tuesday morning, September 1st, this next Tuesday. And teachers and staff and faculty, we are all going to be available to our community. And so the best way and the quickest way to reach out and connect with us is via email. And we can additionally then make time to connect via phone or video conference, whatever makes the most sense. But we certainly are also modeling the joy and the challenge of being lifelong learners in this whole process as we deliver education and teaching and learning via new methods. And so there's some excitement to being a lifelong learner, and all of us seek to model that for our students this year. And speaking of technology, we are primarily using Google Classroom and Zoom. A few in our math department in particular are also piloting Canvas. Those of you in our parent community who work or teach at institutions of higher education in particular are probably very familiar with Canvas as a platform. And so we are piloting that. The student and parent portals continue to be up and will be important tools for monitoring progress. And our online textbooks in various content areas, English, math, social, science, health, all key this year and moving forward. And this year and this distance learning time will most certainly give us different ideas for how we can even improve the way we offer service in the years ahead. And so all of the input and the thoughts from our community as we do so and move ahead are welcome. And I would like to introduce you next to Crescenta Valley High School's tech leader. He also happens to be a wonderful math teacher, Mr. Winsaw, who's going to be unmuting and turning on his video to join us. And we thank him because this year, Mr. Saw is 100% full-time tech for us. So he is going to walk us through what it would be helpful to know for parents.
Thank you, Dr. Good evening, parents and students. If you're feeling a little overwhelmed, you're not alone. I'm a technology leader, and I feel overwhelmed with all this online remote learning. But hopefully, after tonight, we can address some concerns and answer a few questions. So let's get started with our learning management systems. Google Classroom and Canvas. Many students are familiar with Google Classroom already, and a number of teachers are using Canvas as it offers some enhanced features. Websites, web addresses for both Google Classroom and Canvas are provided for you in the chat room. So if you just click on the chat, you can have that information throughout this evening. Now, parents, please make sure you update your contact information in the parent portal so that you can receive emails and phone calls. And you can go to parent.gusd.net and update that information. If you have any issues with that, please contact our admin secretary, Lori Hansen, and her information is also posted there. Now, in order to protect our virtual classrooms and keep them safer from intruders, we have encouraged our teachers to turn on Zoom authentication through Clever. And Clever is just a hub for all GUSD apps. So students must log on to clever.gusd.net before any Zoom meetings. And that's where you would get authenticated. And Mr. Gallimore, if you can show the slide, please, and share a parent, the Clever site. So that's the parent portal. On the next slide, please. So once the student gets to clever.gusd.net, they will see login with Google. Okay, so you have to click on that, and many students have already logged on to Google, so you shouldn't have to type in your username at all. So log in with Google, and hopefully you know your username, and if you don't, the GUSD student Gmail is posted right there. It's your first initial of your first name, first 3 letters of your last name, and then the last 4 digits of your ID card, and followed by stu.gusd.net. Okay. Keep in mind that when you go to zoom.us or zoom.com, you need to scroll down to the bottom and always log in with Google. Okay, log in with Google. You shouldn't have to type in your username because it will remember it. So scroll down, look for that, and click. Many of you guys are having trouble logging in because you're not scrolling down and looking for that Google login. Once you're logged in to Clever, you go into Zoom, you should be able to join your classrooms. Okay, since many of our classrooms are, we're all doing this through Zoom, there are some Zoom expectations, all right? So Mr. Gallimore, if you can, yeah. So there's a list, and I've visited many virtual classrooms, and I see please turn on your camera. Teachers want to get to know you. And the part about being visible above the shoulders, some of these kids are, I don't have a pillow, but you roll out of bed and you're on the side and we can't really see you. And it's already hard enough that we're from a distance. You're not in the classroom. We really want to get to know you. We're excited about this. So please center and turn on your camera, okay? And please be respectful in the chat room and when you communicate to teachers through email. And avoid multitasking. Please stay focused. I know it's hard for adults also. I know we have technical issues, and I know there are a lot of requests for password resets. And at CV, we're dedicated to help you with this. So we're actually designating another person to help reset passwords. You can do that through our CV website. Scroll down and it's on the left. There'll be a button available by tomorrow. You can click on the reset button, or if you need other technical help, my tech team students will contact you, and that's where tech team assistance form. Okay. I know that I've worked with many teachers, and they're so eager to teach you, and they've worked really hard over the summer, weekends, and nights. And we want to make this learning experience a wonderful experience for you. Thank you for listening. And I'd like to introduce our next speaker, one of our assistant principals, Mr. Jordan Lessem.
Hi Falcon families. My name is Mr. Lessem, and I'm one of the assistant principals here as well at CV. So what I want to talk about first is our PBIS program that we have going on. PBIS and what we do here at Crescenta Valley is the Falcon Way. If we can have that, our PBIS emblem displayed. So this is what we're about here at CVHS. It's the Falcon Way. We want to be involved, be respectful, be responsible, and be safe. Some specifically ways that looks, in the classroom, be involved, log in, early in your classes, be ready to go with your camera on so your teachers can get to know you, as Mr. Saw just said. Be respectful, have your microphone muted, especially when others are talking, and don't interrupt the teacher or other students. Be responsible, be accountable for your actions, for your work, keep track of your behavior, and then be safe, only, school appropriate, activities in our classes. So this is the Falcon Way. A lot of fun things are going on. We're going to have, raffles and all kinds of ways to earn prizes and to get involved with school. Next, getting involved, I want to talk about athletics. So one of my main responsibilities here is I'm over athletics. We have 23 programs here for boys and girls here at Crescenta Valley High School. Usually they'd be spanning over 3 seasons. It's still not too late to be involved. And I know probably thinking, did we miss tryouts or anything? So far there haven't been tryouts yet. All sports right now have been postponed until winter. So right now, instead of having 3 seasons, we're only having 2 seasons, and all sports were broken up just into 2 seasons instead of 3. When it's safe to reopen campus and to have students working out together, our coaches still are going to have tryouts. So we are going to have tryouts. There's still ways to be involved. So typically we have over 1,000 student athletes in schools. Especially if you're new to the school, this is a great way to get involved, to meet people, to really get that fun high school experience. When that information comes out, I wish I could give you details on when tryouts are going to be and when we'll be back. I wish I could give you those specific details. We don't have them yet, so just please keep, we'll send out notices when we can. Keep checking the website. Once, as far as we get specifics on when we're allowed to open up activities again, we will get that information out to you. But rest assured, if you want, you haven't missed that opportunity, and we really look forward to getting sports going this year, starting hopefully playing contests in January. Next, I want to talk about our ASB program and our clubs. We have over 100 clubs here on campus. We're still going to have those going this year. We have our Club Expo. It's going to be our virtual Club Expo this year, first time in Crescenta Valley history, starting September 28th and going to October 2nd. So there'll be information coming out about that. If you have questions, our ASB faculty advisors, you can always email Mr. John Pahar or Ms. Laura Beers, and they can go ahead and get that information for you. And I have the extreme pleasure of being able to introduce our ASB president for this year, a phenomenal student who I know personally, Dana Ryan.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you. Hi, parents. I hope everyone's doing well. I'm Dana Ryan, and I'm a senior here at CV this year. So I have the honor of being ASB president, and ASB, if you guys don't know, is our student class body where we focus on building school unity, usually with events like dances or fun activities like that. But this year's going to be a little bit different. As a student, I think actual school has a lot more to offer than just the education part. With virtual learning, we're still getting that education, but we're lacking that human interaction aspect that, like many, feel is a huge part of being at school. So as we can't be together right now, things will be different, but ASB's goal is still the same, which is to help maintain the connection of students. So how are we going to connect with 2,500 students from our own homes? This is a huge question, and we're still planning on it. The first step we've decided was to establish a shared platform among our students where we can spread information and also receive feedback too. So our Instagram, if you guys want to write this down, is CVHS_Falcons. CVHS_Falcons. And we're using this as one of our main resources. If your kids don't have an Instagram, that's fine, because ASB is working on creating a school-wide Google Classroom where your students can also stay updated on our activities and school information. So through these platforms, we're going to be posting questionnaires, and we've already done that, and we're hearing their concerns, and also we want to hear their feedback and their ideas and their desires for this year. Because the 27 of us in ASB, this is new to us, so we want to hear everyone's ideas. We're staying hopeful that we can have a more regular year in the future, But for right now, ASB wants to let you guys know that we're committed to being creative with this year and with this current situation. And of course, education is the focus, but ASB also wants to help ensure that connections are being made and experiences are being shared for our students, even with the virtual environment right now. So things are different, but we're gonna stay positive because we got this. We got this, Falcons. Thank you so much for your time. And I'm gonna pass it over to Mr. Eldred.
Thanks, Dana. Hi, everyone. My name is John Eldred. I'm another one of our assistant principals here at Crescenta Valley High School. And I wanted to take a few minutes just to talk to you about how to support your student in the rigorous academic environment that CV is. There are multiple ways that we can provide academic help to your student. The first point of contact always is, of course, a teacher. And we have office hours that our teachers are providing for our students. You can see they're up on the screen, Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays every afternoon, and then of course, Wednesdays in the morning. Beyond that, we have our student centers. We'll give you information about that in just a moment, where students can get extra help in math, science, English, and of course, world languages. For our special education students, we have our case carriers. We're also going to be putting together a tutoring website. As soon as we have all of our tutors recruited, we'll definitely be getting that information out to you on how to access that website so that your student can reach out to other student tutors on campus and get the help that they need in their academic classes. And of course, lastly, we have intervention classes for some of our students who need extra targeted help in areas such as math and English. So the student centers, if we can get Mr. Gallimore to put up the slide for that information. This is information that has already been provided to your students, hopefully by their teachers. And this is, there we go. This is student information that, or students center information that you can pass on to your students. For help in English, we have Miss Amanda Lyons, who can assist your student in writing. Mr. John Allen is assisting our students in math. For help in biology and chemistry, we have Mrs. Ann Spink. And lastly, we have help in multiple foreign languages with Mrs. Sylvia Call. So there are multiple ways, parents, for you to assist your students in their academics and for your students to reach out in different ways to help themselves as well. And now I'm going to pass it on to Ms. Janelle Evans in our counseling department.
Hi, my name is Janelle Evans, and I'm one of the 5 counselors that we have at Crescenta Valley High School. We want to really talk about how you have access to us, whether it's for academic help, whether it's for looking into your future choices with college and career, or whether it's with the social and emotional piece. And I think that we can all say that we've experienced many moments, especially over the last 6 months, when we could definitely use somebody to talk to and just, kind of bend their ear about just kind of what's going on in our lives. So we want to let you know that the slide that's up on the screen right now shows you that the counselors all have office hours from 12 to 1, Monday through Friday. And that is where we will be on a Zoom link. We will let you in one at a time, and we'll be able to talk to you and kind of work through whatever questions or concerns that you have. We are also available to meet by appointment, so don't hesitate to shoot us an email if you would rather schedule an appointment with us. We also have our 2 school psychologists. Miss Lee Howell is available from 12 to 12:30 on Thursdays or by appointment, and Miss Arkelian is available on Tuesdays from 12 to 12:30 or again by appointment. So, and their information is also provided for you on the screen. So again, this is just a little bit about when you have the opportunity to come in, chat with us at kind of an unscheduled time. So just wanted you to know that we're here. We want to help you. We would much prefer be sitting and chatting with you in person. But since that's not since we're not able to do that right now, we will go ahead and take what we can get and at least hopefully get to see you through the screen. The last thing I wanted to just talk to you about and really just kind of reiterate, everybody here has already mentioned all of the different team members that we have at the school and the adults that really care about our students and our students' families, and we want to be able to work with you and support you the best we can. So please don't hesitate to reach out, whether it's to us as the counselors, school psychologists, administrators, teachers. We really all work as a team. So again, it's nice to, I'd say see you, but I can't really see you. But it's nice to have you here, and I really wish you all the best of luck this year. I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to Miss Christine Benitez, our Associate Principal.
Hello and welcome back. We are so happy to be back at school. We wish, of course, we could see all of your children's bright, shining faces every day, but we know from what we've heard from teachers that they are engaging and learning, and we are very, very happy to hear that. So, Mr. Gallimore, would you like to, the first thing, oh, before I start on the schedule, there was a question in the Q&A, I've been monitoring the Q&A about Canvas. And yes, there is a way for parents to monitor or get notifications about assignments in Canvas. The teachers using Canvas are in the process of putting together a video. Apparently there's a code that the students need to use, and then they give it to their parents, and there's a way to do it. So the teachers are going to work together to make sure the kids have that information. Okay, now for our schedule. The schedule for the entire district, all of our high schools that have 6 periods, we are on what's called a block schedule, where on Mondays and Thursdays, most weeks, and I'll get to that in a minute, it's periods 1, 3, and 5. Periods 0 or 7 essentially meet every day except Wednesday. And then Tuesdays and Fridays, we have periods 2, 4, and 6. And Wednesday, most weeks, is supposed to alternate. Some weeks it's 1, 3, 5, some weeks it's 2, 4, 6. And because this is very confusing, we have another schedule, but I want to point out before we leave this slide that from 2:20 to 3:15, Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, there are office hours. And we have departmentalized those office hours for students, which I'll show you in just a couple slides. So Mr. Gallimore, would you like to go to the next slide? This is just a quick, short description of each week between now and the end of the semester, which is in December, on what periods there are each day. The times that they're being held are the same as what you just saw on the previous slide, but these are the periods that are happening. So you can see, for instance, the week of September 7th, we don't have school on Monday, and so there is no minimum day that week. And then likewise on October 16th, that is the end of the quarter. So that is the minimum day on a Friday, not a Wednesday. So this you could probably print and stick it on the refrigerator. But I have something better for you too. Mr. Gallimore, the next one. This schedule is just a little bit more detailed, and it is for students. And you can see it says weekly schedule for students 8:31 to 9:04. So this is the schedule for next week. Each week there will be one of these. And it says, you know, you can see there from like 9 to 10:20 on Monday, live session at. So they could physically write in, if they wanted to, what time their live session is going to be. And this you could put on the refrigerator because it will be specific to each week between now and December. At the bottom of this schedule, you can see on Mondays our English office hours from 2:20 to 3:15. On Tuesday is math and VAPA, and VAPA stands for Visual and Performing Arts. So if your student is in art or cinematography or ceramics, that's when their teacher's available. On Thursday is science, CTE, and PE. Those are their office hours. And Friday is social studies and world languages. On Wednesdays, the entire staff has office hours from 8 to 8:50. Okay, so this is a working doc that you can use. Teachers have this as well. They're able to push it out to their students on Mondays. Okay, now the importance of the schedule is so that we all know when we're taking attendance, because we are taking attendance this fall. That is different than last spring. And we are taking attendance during the live session. That is important to know. So you want to make sure your student is there for the live session. And we know that there have been technology issues, and there might continue to be technology issues. You know, for example, last spring, my husband decided to have the wireless shut off for 2 days without telling me. That was a bit of a concern. So we know that sometimes things happen. Please communicate with the teachers, let them know. We have very gracious teachers. Everyone is giving people grace. Our teachers even have internet issues as well. So please just communicate and let us know. If there's a doctor's appointment or another type of excused activity, please continue to contact the attendance office like you have in the past and let them know the excuse and the date. Students do need to turn their cameras on. We want them to engage in the lesson. And we do have teachers that sometimes they'll say, just turn the camera on for attendance, and then I'll let you turn it off and we can talk. Others want them to have them on while they're in group conversations. So that is important, and I know it might be hard to get used to, but please try to encourage that. Just keep in mind that missing live instruction is akin to missing classes. And of course, we want to help, and what matters most to us is that kids are learning. And that's all going to happen again with communicating with the teacher. And books and materials. We have, we worked 2 weeks ago on getting kids all the books that we could get them. And we know we ran short on some. There's also some classes that have materials like art and ceramics, band, and those teachers are working individually with their classes on when to drop off and pick up in a way that is safe and secure. And so please just, if you're in art or ceramics, band, or a class, I think Stage Arts had some little materials to pick up. Just make sure your student and is listening to the teacher and working with the teacher on when they can stop and pick those up. If your student got the wrong textbook, or we were out of the textbooks when your student came, which is possible, we are open 8 to 3, Monday through Friday. They can come by and exchange those books. They need to stop in the health office for a health screening, their temperature check, etc. But we are here, and that is available to them. Finally, with teachers, where are they tonight? Normally, you would be in their classrooms, and they would be welcoming you and telling you what your child is going to learn this semester. This year, we're doing it a little bit differently, and each one of them is created a video, and those videos will be on their websites by September 1st. As you can imagine, having over 100 videos to post takes time, and we are working on that diligently. Like Dr. Young said earlier tonight, many of them are already up, but we just wanted to give ourselves a little bit of time for the crunch and just for the sheer numbers. So by September 1st, they should be definitely up on their websites, and you can watch them and listen to them and hear and see what's going to be expected of your student in those classes. Now, as far as the Q&A, Dr. Young, do you want to come back and join me? Are there any questions that I missed while I was chatting? Let's see here. Will Canvas be housed on Clever like Google Classroom eventually? I will, Mr. Saul, can you answer that question, Mr. Saul?
We have Mr. Schluter, so eventually yes, but we don't know at this point.
Okay. We will be sending you, I'm sorry, we won't be sending you. We will be making this PowerPoint available to you and the video probably tomorrow. and you're welcome to download any of those schedules at that time.
I'd also like to add that on our multiple communication platforms, on our website, on Instagram, we're sending out weekly reminders about what schedule are we on this week. And so there are the platforms that we've encouraged everyone to subscribe to have that information, and also in our e-bulletin.
Again, if you are having if your son or daughter is having issues logging into Zoom, please communicate with the teacher and they can help you with the attendance for that period. Someone wanted me to share that the office is closed between 12 and 1 for lunch. That's interesting that you had to wait outside today, because we do have people here covering lunches. So we should be available 8 to 3, but I will double check on that with our clerks tomorrow. We will continue to send home the attendance calls if a student is marked absent. If you need to return a Chromebook, you can bring that back, again, between the hours of 8 and 3. The Falcon Way slide, yes, we have made those into postcards, actually, and we are working on making those into, I believe Mr. Lessem, do we have those as stickers yet?
We had them as buttons. We had a lot of buttons made.
But we can, that's a great idea to look at making those decals or stickers. The teacher websites are located on our CVHS website under contacts. You can click on there and scroll down to a teacher's names.
That link is also in the email message that was sent out in conjunction with Back to School Night. With this link and the announcement of Back to School Night, that same email communique has a link to the exact page on our website that links to teacher pages.
So if a student did not receive books because we were out of them, they should be contacted once they come in. I'll know, we'll be making copies of the questions so we can follow up. And we'll check in on those textbooks. It is our legal obligation to mark students absent if they're not in the live session. I know that's complicated, but that is the law. We have to adhere to that. There's no update on the PSAT. Yes, so the PSAT, great question. We were hoping that the College Board was going to create an online version of this test. We have been told that is not going to happen. There is a meeting coming up soon where we can discuss the logistics of this, because it would mean having to proctor the test live with the students here on campus. And so we are going to be looking at that and the logistics to see if it's possible to do. Dr. Young, is a meeting for seniors planned?
So we have been working with the district to have webinar access like this and to be able to host larger scale events. And I know that our counseling staff is planning on meeting and sharing information grade by grade. Our associated student body leadership, link crew, we're planning also experiences and activities specific to grade. And so I'm not sure exactly what type of meeting is being inquired about, but yes, we are looking to connect, we are looking to support. And so yes, we believe that we are positioned to be able to meet those needs.
And if I may add just one more thing, I've been in contact with our Jostens representative about graduation regalia, and he's committed to getting packets into seniors' hand by mail by October 1st. So be looking for your mail for information to get senior regalia from Jostens. Thank you.
Miss Evans, would you like to answer? It says, congratulations, CV admin and staff. Thank you. We like that. Thank you very much. It says, any suggestions about how parents can help support their students' social emotional well-being given the challenges of distance learning?
Yeah, I mean, I think that really, similar to what it was before, making sure that the communication is open with your child, checking in with them, seeing how they're doing. I mean, even with my own kids, they're in first grade and fourth grade, but it's been a rough start to this year, and it was a rough end to last year. So the one thing that I've noticed is really talking to them and letting them know that their feelings are totally normal and okay, especially given the situation that we're all in. I've also, shared with them that, us as adults, that, as much as we all really work hard to hold it together, that we all have our moments too, and that is just part of life, and that we're all going to get through it together. If you feel that your child, if you could kind of get to that next level where you're really concerned about their kind of stability, I would suggest contacting your health insurance, your healthcare providers, and getting some resources to perhaps reach out and look for some therapeutic services through your insurance to start. Do not hesitate to send your counselor an email here at the school and let us know if your child is struggling. And we are more than happy to talk to you, talk to your student, and again, just really open the lines of communication. Nothing is more important than working together and as a team right now. So anything that we can do to help you and help support your student, please don't hesitate to reach out.
I would also add that our district, the Glendale Unified School District, is offering some sessions for social emotional support. And so our e-bulletin is going out. If you're not receiving that, you can reach out to Lori Jones to make sure that you are receiving our e-bulletin, which does have links and information to these kind of proactive steps that we can take for the social emotional health of our children. And there are sessions for wellness happening right now. And know that multiple people presenting here tonight were also parents. I have a daughter who's a junior. I have a son who's just entering Rosemont as a seventh grader. What an awkward, strange, he was so excited, yet so nervous. And so know that we understand the parent side of it as well, and are looking to be service oriented and to make things work.
Thank you, Dr. Young. Mr. Gallimore, can you please answer when will club information be available?
ASB is working right now. Mr. Lessem had talked about we're going to have a virtual club expo coming up. We already have information out on our website and all of our social media platforms. CVHS is on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok. So I'm going to make sure we get that information out for new club members. There's also information for you to sign up. All existing clubs and all new clubs have to reapply every year. And Mr. Pahar and Ms. Beers have been very good about putting out that information. So check our website, check the ASB portion of our website.
Dr. Young, I think this is an important question. Someone asked, are we moving towards standardization of the classes? We have some teachers using the student portal, Google Classroom, Clever, and Canvas. Keeping track of when and where each class has assignments and grading can be overwhelming in itself.
So we did hear in the surveys last year and leading up to this year from students and from parents, the clear message that less is more. And again, as parents, we certainly see this. We were just having a conversation with my daughter last night, who again is a junior, and one of her classes, most are on Google Classroom and Zoom, and one is on Canvas. And so we are looking at, again, moving Canvas to Clever, seeing how we can standardize and support and make sign-in as easy as possible while we're looking at really maximizing the experience in each classroom. This morning, there was a meeting of what we call our instructional leadership team, which are all of our department chairs. We have standing weekly meetings at this point to talk about things like this, about the experiences we're creating for students, the platforms, how they're working, moving from a 57-minute period to an 80-minute period, and what that entails for our lesson planning and preparing for tests, assessments, grading, as we are back on a traditional grading system now, and learning a lot from those of our teachers who taught in summer school. We actually have a third of our staff who did teach summer school classes, either for remediation or for advancement, and accrued a great deal of experience and expertise that they're able to share with colleagues. And so we are identifying and sharing best practices and in the middle of the work. And again, this is part of our commitment to model lifelong learning and the openness, the flexibility, the resiliency, the willing to be reflective and to refine our practices and have ongoing cycles of improvement set up internally for our own review. And we have a clear commitment and understanding that really none of us serve any purpose. There's no reason for any of us to be receiving paychecks, except we're serving students and we serve our community. And so we need to, especially now, approach our jobs with that spirit of service and willingness to be reflective and humble ourselves in offering the best experience that we can.
Dr. Young, there's a question that if LA County releases the restrictions, can we expect to be in live instruction this semester?
So there are ongoing meetings with district representatives and departments of the LA County Department of Health, and some of those entities that weigh heavily in the decisions to reopen schools, to bring students back in a phased way. Certainly our Board of Education is a big piece of how we will move forward, as well as our superintendent and our bargaining organizations as well. There are indicators that numbers and counts and things in the state are beginning to look better. Orange County is sounding like they are off the watch list potentially, maybe opening schools. We will have an opportunity to learn from what they do. As we're all aware and have experienced throughout the spring and now in the summer and opening now in the fall, these decisions are made by county. So LA County, Ventura County, Orange County may have very unique and different counts that are being looked at to make these decisions. So when it's safe and when it's possible, the Board of Education has prioritized first bringing back special education students, allowing access for programs that really need the hands-on experience. So for instance, as it's safe and as we're able to do so, science labs, classes like the arts or ceramics, where again, those hands-on experience is so key. So we would not return all at once. It would be a phased and measured approach, but that's how we would proceed. I did see some questions in the Q&A as well about athletics. So Mr. Lessem, if you could come back and remind us how CIF has reorganized the seasons and what we can expect in that regard.
Yes, so CIF has reorganized. Instead of having 3 seasons, which starts one in the fall, which would usually be in August, another one starting in December, and then the last one starting in March, we're now in 2 seasons. The first season is set, which would be considered kind of our fall season, was starting January 8th would be the first contest. And then we'd have to be up, and practicing by, November, December. So instead of having all of our sports spread out over 3 seasons, we're going to be spread out over just 2 seasons. They've just marked it in half. As far as dates about when tryouts are going to be, again, that all just comes down to, how the numbers in the area looking and when we're allowed to open up campus and open up our facilities. So unfortunately, I can't set a date and say on this day we're going to be allowed to come back and practice. It just hasn't been set yet, but we will get that out there as soon as we're allowed and as soon as it becomes evident when we can. And then any student who is interested will have the opportunity to try out, just like if we were starting, normally. And we will be able to, designate our teams and hopefully have, all of our programs participate this year. And the seasons are set by CIF Southern Section, so those aren't us, and that's not a local decision. This was, our whole governing CIF organization.
Thank you, Mr. Lessem. I've had a couple questions about, I'll follow up, Mr. Lessem, since you're there. Someone asked specifically about tryouts for swim and also about a tennis coach.
Yes, so first, I'm very excited. We do have a new tennis coach. He was an assistant under our last coach, under Sam Wynn. Doyle Kim is going to be stepping up to take over the program this year. He's going to be the head tennis coach for this year for boys and for girls. And as far as, again, specific dates for swim, again, we don't have those set yet. We do not know when we'll be able to open up facilities and bring students together to start working out and to have tryouts. But as soon as our campus gets clear to open and to resume, we will get those set.
And soccer, Mr. Lessem?
We do have a soccer coach. We do have a soccer coach. Were they asking about a coach or as far as dates?
Coach. Coach,
yes. We do have a coach who is in the process of getting cleared through the district. As soon as he is officially cleared, we will announce and make the decision. But we're very excited. He's a former professional player, standout, and experienced coach. So we're very excited.
Another sport question, Mr. Lessem. If sports season doesn't start until later and there's no tryout, how will sport class go during period 6?
Coaches are doing Zoom sessions with their athletes. We are in the process also of our walk-on coaches. So those coaches who are not our full-time coaches on campus or full-time teachers are in the process of getting their credentials cleared to have the ability through the district to host their own Zoom sessions. So that's in the process of and should be completed, any day now. But as far as our on-campus teachers and coaches, they are doing their own Zoom sessions and running them just like PE classes.
Thank you, Mr. Lessem. There's been a few questions about students with IEPs and 504s. As students with IEPs, case carriers should have already reached out to parents to introduce themselves. I know they were in the process of doing that this week. And 504s, Ms. Evans, would you like to speak to 504s?
Sure. I know that at this point, the counselors are emails are finally starting to slow down. So we will definitely, if we have not reached out to you already and scheduled a 504 meeting to help with the incoming 9th graders transitioning into high school, we will be doing that. We will be reaching out and contacting you. If your son or daughter is not a 9th grader and they're doing well, but you really want to look into scheduling a 504 meeting just to review, feel free to reach out to us. We will start with transitioning in the 9th graders. So, but definitely we are going to be working with our 504 students and reaching out to parents as soon as possible.
Mr. Eldred, can you speak specifically to the U.S. history books? Do you know when they will be available? Mr. Eldred?
I'm going to unmute myself and start my video. Yeah, we have them. Someone stopped my video, but yes, we have U.S. history books. They're available.
Okay. And there's a question about the schedule. So if your student has periods 1, 2, 3, and 4, then on Mondays and typically Thursdays, he or she will attend periods 1 and 3, and on Tuesdays and Fridays, he or she will attend periods 2 and 4. Okay. I think we're getting down to the bottom of this. Let's see. I did answer the question about PSAT testing. And then Dr. Young, there's some, Mr. Eldred, Korean 3-4 books, do we have those?
They're still in order. We're waiting on them to be delivered. As soon as they're delivered, then we'll let teachers know, and then the teacher can let the students know to come on in. And we also have plenty of Living Earth textbooks as well.
Thank you. Okay, Mrs. Evans, will there be any webinars or guidance from counselors on college applications?
Yes, so the counselors actually, we just had a long meeting about this today. We are finalizing the senior class presentations that will provide a lot of guidance in terms of where our seniors should be in the process of college applications, making more solidified decisions about what they want to do after high school. And then what we will do is after we have those presentations available, we will actually also send out a questionnaire to all of our seniors to answer, in which case we will go through the answers and set up individual meetings with our seniors so that we can really get to the bottom of answering any of their questions about the whole process, because it is very detailed and there are a lot of questions. We do know that we have had seniors over the last month sending us emails about asking us for letters of recommendation. If you haven't heard back from us, it's not because we're trying to ignore you. We're really just trying to get our students into their classes. So all of those things are going to start happening for our seniors within the coming 2 weeks or so. So just pay attention to that. And please, to our students, please make sure you're checking your GUSD student emails, because that is how we are communicating with you.
Just in general, I know that there are concerns about the number of platforms that we have here, and Dr. Young addressed that earlier. And I just want to say that part of the video that you're going to see from your teachers is they're going to explain what platform they're using, how they're doing grades, where their grades are posted, and how they're going to be communicating with students. So I really do encourage you to watch their videos. Let's see here. You can monitor student grades in Google Classroom by talking to your student. I encourage you. Our goal for every student here at CV is to help make them as independent as possible when they leave us. And so please encourage them to look at their grades. They're in either the portal or the Google Classroom or Canvas, wherever the teacher is posting, and encourage that conversation, that dialogue between you and your child. Okay, let's see. Dr. Young, there's some questions about what returning to school looks like, if there's going to be testing, if we're going to follow the LAUSD model, San Diego.
So again, decisions are made county by county. So we are seeing what's happening with things opening up in Orange County and San Diego County. But again, decisions for us would be based on Los Angeles County, not Ventura, Orange. These are county by county decisions really. And then it is incumbent on the Board of Education to determine plans for return. And we are, the plan that was voted on and selected did include the option for a phased return when it was safe. And so as a school, we are actually structured and preparing and prepared really in many respects. So for instance, there are additional structures that have been set up in our student information system to be able to structurally manage a 50% or a partial return to campus. And so please know that that is something that we are structured to be able to do, and that there are also committees established to make sure that for all of our students, while we're in distance learning, we are providing high quality education, that we are having ways to connect and have fun and to get students out of isolation at home. That's certainly not a healthy environment where we don't want people in isolation for extended periods socially. And so there's really creative ideas for how to do that. And just last night, I met with a group of student leaders from throughout the district, as well as a kind of a mixed panel of faculty, parents, and students. And I think there are going to be some really, I think you're going to be impressed and engaged with some of the offerings that are going to be coming our way. And so again, Club Rush and Club Expo is already in the plans. And so those are all things that the wheels are turning and things are happening, and you will be seeing that.
Mrs. Evans, will there be a virtual college recruiter this year?
In terms of college recruiter, we will have representatives from different universities. We are actually working as a district counseling team to kind of come together and work to coordinate so that all of the GUSD students have access to all of the different representatives from different universities. So as that is coming together, that will be publicized and the information will be out there.
Mrs. Evans or any of the assistant principals, can we talk about volunteer opportunities for students?
I think we can, yeah. There are already things happening where clubs in particular are planning service. Our robotics is collecting food for a local food pantry, right, in a drive-through, socially, physically distanced way that was cleared and approved. I know our Academy of Science and Medicine was interested in partnering potentially with robotics in this effort. We also have some of our computer science students who, again, were partnering and volunteering in research with universities, amplifying computer networks and resources available for data analysis and imaging that required a lot. And so we were helping with that. We have students who were coming up with patterns for 3D printing of personal protective devices and screens. And so there's already things happening in terms of volunteer opportunities. And so it just is looking a little different. It's not the traditional gathering and you know, having people come for an event type of a thing, but there are opportunities to be of service, to volunteer, and to get those community service hours, for instance. Clubs and groups are coming up with creative means of still doing that. So I encourage all of us to engage, to think through the opportunities that are, there's never been more need or more opportunity around us. And so how can we do things in a different way to meet some of those needs and volunteer to make a meaningful difference in our community? And as there are ideas, I will invite each of you to reach out and share those ideas with teachers, with club advisors, with administrators, with whoever it is that you are comfortable reaching out to. And this is a time for idea sharing and collaboration to make things happen.
Dr. Young, I also wanted to mention that Glendale Unified School District has the College and Career Fair, and that will still be going on October 14th. And oftentimes at the College and Career Fair, there are, you know, opportunities, and they can talk to different representatives about different volunteer opportunities as well. We also have, if you go to the school website and you look under volunteer hours and how to accrue those hours, we have a whole list of different community organizations that you can reach out to find out how their volunteer hours look now in the world today.
So we committed to really appreciating and valuing your time. We are going to be posting this video, and for some of the questions that I'm seeing, there were answers for many of them earlier in the video broadcast. So
Can I clarify one thing?
There will be the opportunity to revisit what you may have missed. And so we'll take a couple last questions and then we will wrap it up. And again, there will be access to this video, to the PowerPoint, and to teacher presentations and access that is ongoing for several days as part of our back to school night this year.
I'd like to clarify for those who missed it, the parent portal and the student portal are open. Remember that we are only on day 7 of school, and last week your students only saw their teachers once. So the most they would have seen their teachers right now is 4 times. So there may not be anything in the portal. That doesn't mean that the portal isn't working, but teachers may not have entered grades yet. Again, they've probably only seen your child 3 or 4 times at this point. You can request to the teacher to be a guardian in the Google Classroom. That requires you to email them and just ask to be a guardian. Once they make you a guardian, you'll receive an email from Google. And you might miss it, you may have to check your spam, but you'll receive an email from Google asking if you want to receive daily emails or weekly emails. And for Canvas, again, there is a way for you to monitor students' activity in Canvas, and the teachers are going to be teaching kids how to do that because there's a code they need to be able to give you. So I just wanted to clarify that because I do think that is important with these different platforms that we have. Thank you to everybody for the nice compliments. It's really nice to see those in the Q&A. Yes, there are going to be SATs this year, and counselors will be notifying students all about that. I think we have answered most of them, Dr. Young. There are some specific. Mr. Eldred, could you one more time go over the codes for the Help Center? There's been several questions about that.
Perhaps if Mr. Gallimore could display that slide again, just as we wrap things up, that may be a nice way to exit as we kind of wrap up the meeting. Mr. Eldred, whatever you would want to add about that as we're
I don't have the codes up on the screen there, but the teachers have posted them in their Google Classrooms for other students. It'll be accessible for parents when they see the recording of the video and be able to download the PowerPoint. Ready to help kids.
All right, so thank you to all of our panelists. Thank you to each one of our community members who have made time to join us this evening. And remember that as we sign off and close this webinar, that again, this video recording will be available and that communication will be ongoing in the days to come, that teacher videos will post no later than Tuesday morning, September 1st. And in the meantime, go to those web pages for your child's teachers on the CV website. Each teacher does have a page, and you will already find perhaps a welcome video, a syllabus, some information about the class, and check back again on Tuesday, September 1st, because there will be back to school night videos posted in addition to what is already there. And again, we are all here for outreach. Email is the most efficient way to get to us quickly, but it certainly won't be the only way that we can or that we will connect with each other. So thank you, Falcon family, for joining us tonight. We look forward to a great year together this year. Take care.